Good morning. Welcome to Mayor's Weekly, and today I have joining me our Chief of Police, Chief J.C. Poe. Talked with Chief Poe a day or so back and asked him if he would come and let's kind of just give a general overview of our police department and what I want to say up front, and not because Chief Poe is sitting beside me here, but we have an excellent police department, and you might ask the question, how do you say that? And there's scientific ways to look at it about violent crimes in relation to your population and that sort of thing. And I can recall, not in the too far distant past, it seemed like every few months you would read that Jasper was a dangerous place to live. You never read that anymore. And and Chief Poe and I talk about this often that we understand that we could have problems tomorrow, things that are beyond our control. But our people, I think, do a good job of keeping their eye on the ball, playing with intensity, and all of those things contribute to a safer environment for our city's citizens. Another way, to the casual observer, if you think that our police officers are not doing anything, every Thursday, 2 o'clock, right here at City Hall, if you want to make a pass by our city court and see the attendance there, and Chief, when I say there's not a person in there that didn't process through our police department, did they?
No, sir.
That's right. You can see that and that's public, anybody can come take a look at that, whatever, and there's not a Thursday that goes by that I don't take a look at it, and it tells me that our police department working every day to provide a safer environment for our citizens. Chief, it's a police department's a big operation, that bigger than most people know. Top of your head, how many folks you have working for you?
I have currently around 65 people working. I've got slotted for 76, but we're short several people, as most departments are.
And what we know is the police department runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yes, sir, it does.
Yeah. Like a fella said, it's kind of like the rent. It don't ever stop, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
And the different pieces of the police department. Of course, we have our officers are on the street, administrative folks, our RCTs. I never can remember what that stands for, but that's the folks that you talk to if you call the police department. The maintenance folks, and Chief, you have a jail operation, and that's if you kept up with across this country. I'm not talking about our community, but across our country, the challenges of jail operations, and on any given day, how many folks will you have incarcerated?
We have an average of probably 15 people a day incarcerated in our jail, and that'll fluctuate after every Thursday.
Yeah.
After city court, and but it sometimes we'll get a little below that, and then sometimes we'll get a little above it.
Well, Chief, those folks have to be fed 3 meals a day. The clothing that they wear in the jail, we have to have somebody doing the laundry and just general cleanup. So there's a staff that looks after that, is there not?
Yes, sir. That is the duties of our jailers. Is they have to take care of the inmates, make sure they're in a safe environment and safe from each other, and that they're cared for, because they're confined with our responsibility of watching after them. Yeah. And of course, we have to do the laundry. Occasionally, we'll have a trustee or two, but that's not real often. Yeah. And they can help with some of those duties, and mopping the floors and that sort of thing.
Chief, 60-plus employees, a jail, takes a lot of money to run the jail. What's your budget roughly on an annual basis?
On our jail is normally, it's.
I'm talking about the police department in general.
Okay, the police department in general is north of $4 million. It normally goes about 4.1, 4.2 million.
So, to put that in perspective, that's over 10% of the city's budget is for police operations, and I don't say that in a critical fashion. It takes that to run. Rolling stock, I don't know, you probably don't how many vehicles that are assigned to you and are in motion every day. Quite a few, isn't it, Chief?
Yes, sir. We have 40-something vehicles assigned to the Jasper Police Department.
And they have to be maintained, and they do that in our maintenance shop. But it is a big operation, and like I said, I just couldn't be more pleased. We've talked often about how we interact with people, and that we want to represent Jasper well, and I get feedback from the street oftentimes that goes like this: that officer gave me a ticket, but he was nice to me. And treating people right, preserving human dignity in everything we do, and we stress that every day, don't we, Chief?
We do.
And making certain that we do preserve human dignity, but all the while carrying out our duties. Now, you know, one of the things, and the Chief will confirm this too, you see this in particular smaller municipalities, people in administrative positions, namely the mayor or whatever, want to set aside somebody's parking ticket or speeding ticket or whatever. We don't do that in Jasper. You know, to do that, you undermine the decision of your officer. It kills morale. They're out there working, doing what they're supposed to do, what their job calls for, and then to have somebody in an administrative position just wipe the slate clean. And we don't do that. You can attest to that, can't you, Chief?
I can. We don't.
We don't do that, and never call on this Chief to do away with people's tickets. We have a court system, and if a person feels like that they're not guilty of the charge or whatever, then we have a system for dealing with that.
Yes, sir, we have a judge.
Now, Chief, managing a police department, the laws change, the criminals become more sophisticated, and they're thinking continuously about how to get ahead of law enforcement. We have to spend considerable money on technology to stay abreast of the laws and do the things that we have to do, and do it in an effective manner, don't we? I mean, you might touch on a few things that we've been working on.
Yes, sir. It's, as the mayor stated, it gets more extremely hard each day to stay on top of the criminal activity. Cell phones is one of the things that's made it so much easier for drug deals to go down. They can call and meet at a place and do a transaction and not be there 30 seconds. And it's very hard to catch people doing that. And you have to use technology in a legal manner. And we have to know all the laws that on what we can and can't do in using technology ourselves. But we try to stay on the cutting edge of that. We have people that have associations, and with the Secret Service and federal agencies that we work with, state agencies, and we communicate and we work together. We send our folks to schools that they put on with those technologies, and a lot of times we come back from those schools with software and able to analyze cell phones and computers and things of that nature. But we spend a good bit of time in that area, and law enforcement has become so specialized, you can't have the greater part of your force now on the street in a car, in a marked patrol car. A lot of them are investigators, IT type people, narcotics people. You have to have evidence technicians and maintain an evidence room, and this gets very manpower consuming, and it takes a lot of management to do that, and also stay in your budget. And with our budget, I'll be here in December 9 years. We have been in our budget every year. We have actually come in a little below it every year. If we have something major that breaks down, I'll come back to the mayor and the council and talk with them about it, and I've never been turned down with a real need that we have with the police department. They've been very supportive of the police department. The mayor touched on us being proactive. We try to be proactive. We talk about that, and we have to be. We are so close to Birmingham and the criminal element that is over there. It's very easy for them to come out to Jasper and then go on back to Birmingham. And that has been a big problem, although my narcotics people and patrol officers, they are keeping that at bay. And we've got a lot of cases that have been in court recently. Our narcotics people have made some major arrests in the last several months on people that have been through our system repetitively, and they keep skirting by and getting out. But working with the DA's office real closely, we have gotten at least 3 of our big players right now that are still in jail on a bond, thanks to Judge Allred and the other judges that are taking a better stance on bonds and keeping people that's associated particularly with fentanyl in jail and away from the public, because that is the biggest killer with our drug abusers and drug seekers in the city of Jasper and the entire county.
Chief, looking after the evidence room, that's something you can't be flippant about. And if you've been following the news, and I know you have a municipality east of us here that, based on what I've read and the comments of the judge, capital murder case where the evidence room was kind of haphazardly handled, and 2 pieces of evidence that would be significant in prosecuting a capital murder case was trashed, and that and in some ways that's akin to managing the vault at the bank. I mean, you have to stay on top of that, don't you?
You do, and we maintain our evidence room. We have an evidence technician that he is at the rank of a lieutenant, so we can have somebody that's got some experience under his belt that knows what he's doing. And we have thousands and thousands of pieces of evidence that is still in that room from years back. And we are very careful with that room. It's under camera constantly. There's the keys to the room, to the door, is only a very few people have that. And there are multiple rooms inside that also are locked with separate keys. We have a login system of people of evidence, and that is kept in a very strict manner. And we do audits of our evidence room, and I can't compliment our people, the investigators, and our evidence technician enough. They do an excellent job with that.
Chief, another thing I'm extremely proud of is your folks. I've been involved, our folks in our school system have been involved as we have worked to build a school security plan. And as I said at the outset, and everybody was agreeable to this, is that we're not going to be in the paper talking about our school security plan. You know, last thing you want is the villains to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
And we're not going to be in the paper. I want folks to think that that we haven't worked on school security. And I couldn't be more pleased with the staff at the police department and how we've worked in harmony with the Board of Education to put together what I believe is an excellent school security program. And a piece of that, and I'm not going to elaborate beyond this, is our tactical team, and those folks are very committed officers that do a lot of training. You want to touch on that just a minute, Chief?
Yes, sir. We are constantly training with the school system. We are constantly in our schools training, and people don't always see it when we're there. We don't always do it when people are at the school. But a lot of it is we do drills, but also we have meetings continually with the Board of Education, with the principals, and we have SROs with our school system, but also we meet occasionally with Dr. Ann Jackson and Mayor O'Mary. We all sit down at a table with my department leaders and the other principals, and we sit and go over our plans and our training, and we're constantly looking to see what we can do better. And I'm extremely proud of a few situations where we have been blessed that it turned out to be a false alarm, but we had one or two situations to where we didn't know whether it was really active situation going on or not, and everybody responded in a fantastic manner. And after we do have something like that, and even after training, we will have a post meeting and sit down and critique ourselves with the school system involved in it to see what we can do better.
Chief, another thing, and we'll wrap up with this, and I can remember probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we started talking about body cameras for our police officers, and our financial situation was such that it looked like that may never become a reality, but things improved. And today, every one of our officers, when they're on duty, is wearing a body camera, and our personnel policy says that body camera will be on. Is that right?
Yes,
right.
sir.
Now, it's kind of funny. I get calls when people think they've been wronged or shortchanged in some way, and some of the things they say, it tells me that people don't know that our officers have body cameras. But I had a person call me, and Chief and I have laughed about this, but I've had numerous calls. I've had a person call me just a few weeks ago and really had some harsh things to say about an officer and how they handle themselves and their account of things. And I said, well, ma'am, that doesn't sound good to me. But I said, I have a responsibility to hear the officer side of this. And I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get with our chief of police and share with him what you shared with me and ask him to pull the body cam footage and let's take a look at it. And I said, I'll get back with you after I've looked at that on the officer's behavior. This person said, oh, click, the phone hung up. Had another situation that it's just the world we live in, got a ticket. No way did I ignore that stop sign, that warning signal, whatever. That officer just completely off base, and I don't think I ought to have a ticket. I said, okay. So I called Chief Poe, and I said, Chief, here's what happened. And guess what? We had a video of it, and I said, I called the gentleman back, and I said, now, I know what you've told me, but if you'd like to come down here and look at this video, then we can talk about it. Oh, click. And so please know that we're going to do everything we can to be fair with you, but we are going to be respecting of the officer's right, and we're going to look to body cam footage to see what happened so we make the best possible decision we can make. And I see nothing that's unfair about that. Do you, Chief?
No, sir, I don't.
All right. But again, we have a great police department. I heard one of our highest elected officials in this community talking just a few days ago, talking about how he was talking to his children who are graduating from college and whatever. And here's what that judge said. He said, I talk to my children and I tell them, the day's coming soon that you'll go to another city to live. And one of the things that I want you to do is, first thing, is wherever you think you might live, go look at the police department, see what kind of police department. If they have a quality police department, then that's a good mark for that city as you select a place to live. So, Chief, I appreciate what you do, your leadership team, all of our officers, all of our support personnel, and like I said, what I see, our people keep an eye on the ball every day. If we do that, we'll manage crime as well as be managed. Yes, sir. Okay. Again, thank you for being with me, Chief, and we'll look forward to being with you next week.